Da 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 da. Welcome back, my friend. This is BjjBrick Quick podcast where a guy who can't sing. No, I'm a great singer, just a bad voice. That's me. I do the intro music. My name is Byron. We talk about jiu-jitsu pretty quickly. Oftentimes we'll have a kind of a different topic and we'll relate it to jiu-jitsu. Recently got back from the country of Tanzania where my wife and I summited Mount Kilimanjaro. It's a phenomenal experience. Today, I don't know where we're going to go with this, but I attempted to find a jiu-jitsu gym in the city of Arusha. And that's, I imagine, the biggest city in Tanzania. I'll quickly pop it up on Google here. But it is, it's kind of the home base that we had, as far as the city goes. And a city, looks like the population in Arusha is over 400,000 people, as of a census in 2012. And yeah, it was a major city. And so we had a day that was kind of towards the end, we had a COVID test, and before we were going to leave, we had to do it the day before. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do some jiu-jitsu. I'll find a gym. I didn't bring my gi, but I got a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and that would be a cool experience. I've done some jiu-jitsu, while traveling in the United States. That's fun. I've done some jiu-jitsu while traveling internationally. I can't remember for sure, but I know I did jiu-jitsu in Panama, and when we were in Myanmar, we called it Burma at the time, but I found a jiu-jitsu gym, and we went to that, and that was kind of a fun way to try to beat jet lag. I did that my first day. That probably was a mistake. Probably should have done that towards the end of the trip. But it's kind of fun to connect with people on the mats in a different place. Now, whether you're traveling, an hour outside of town or whatever, walk into a gym and introduce yourself and meet some people. And if you're traveling internationally, like I remember being on the mats in Panama, and I spoke very little Spanish, but I had a great time. And a couple people spoke a little bit of English, and that it worked out. Like jiu-jitsu is our language. I did jiu-jitsu in Iceland, would it be Reykjavik, the main city in Iceland, and it was like, I think it was Gunnar Nelson's gym. He wasn't there that day, but whatever. It's a really nice gym, and I got paired. A lot of people speak English there, I guess, but. It seems like quite a few, but I got paired up with, I think, one of their brown belts or black belts that spoke really good English, and that person kind of helped me with the technique portion and introduced me to some people, and I got a couple good rounds of jiu-jitsu in, and then it was just me rolling with some Icelanders and people who I couldn't talk to, but we could smile and we could I could say nice to a technique that they did to me or whatever, and I don't know if they understand what nice is, but I think that would make sense if the time was appropriate. So I do recommend, it is kind of a fun way to get in and do something, not just with local people, but do something that you enjoy and get a few pictures afterwards and that sort of thing. Arusha. I couldn't find jiu-jitsu. Here we have a city of almost 500,000 people. It's in Tanzania. And I'm typing in, and maybe the problem was me and my ability to search on Google. Typing in jiu-jitsu or BJJ and that sort of thing, and martial arts, and striking out. It was kind of like eye-opening that it just wasn't there. And Tanzania is, it's not a place people typically, it's a not a wealthy country. It's like, we looked it up. It's like the 20th poorest country in the world. The average person, I think, makes around $1,000 a year. So most of what they're doing is making money and eating and they have a place to stay, but it's, very modest. A lot of people we saw living in little dirt huts with the grass roofs, and some people own, 10 cattle, and that's what their wealth is. So maybe it was just too hard of a place at the time to, really get a jiu-jitsu gym established. And even when I went to Burma, which is not quite as impoverished, like looking at the money per year, it's still pretty low. It's not $2,000. I don't remember what it was, but it's down there pretty low. And when I went to the gym, it was mostly other travelers, people that were not local to the area. But it was kind of neat because it was a whole collection from all over the world of people, maybe 6 or 10 people. I don't remember how, not a huge group, but like they weren't from there, but they were from everywhere. But the thing that kind of blew my mind, I was like, okay, well, can't find jiu-jitsu. But one of our porters, the people that helped us skip the mountain, we took a picture with him, and he kind of made a fighting stance pose. And so I later on in the day, I showed him the picture. He's like, yeah, nice. He said, and he kind of communicated that he did Kung Fu. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I showed him a picture of my wife and I in a gi. And he was really impressed, really with her that she's doing jiu-jitsu. And he didn't know what jiu-jitsu was, but he knew we did a martial art, and we kind of had a connection there. And I would have liked to have seen him do some actual Kung Fu and maybe step onto the, I don't know, not a ring or arena or whatever, but like just go watch that for a day. It would be kind of fun. Didn't have the time to do that. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. If you're traveling, you have some free time, go out there and train. You won't forget it. You'll really enjoy it. Hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, check us out on Patreon. You can pledge a certain amount per month. Really appreciate that, guys. That means so much to me when we get a new person that pledges, per month. Otherwise, there's also an audiobook you can get, Your First Year of Jiu-Jitsu. It's in the BjjBrick.com shop. You can download it and listen to that. Hopefully it'll help you out, my friends. Have a great day and stay sweaty.